Let's go, 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 let's go. You recording? Hi. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Invest Iowa. Today we're talking about Latinos and how they're taking over in the U.S. market. I don't know about Canada's market, but we're going to talk about facts, statistics, how it reflects in the Midwest, especially in the Des Moines metro and the Des Moines area. And for that, I'll let him introduce himself. He is one very experienced real estate agent with Ibarra Realty Group in Keller Williams. So I'm so happy to have you here, dude. I really wanted to have this conversation about Latinos.
Absolutely, man. Thank you once again for the invite. Really appreciate it. I'm super excited to dive into this podcast, dive into some of this information because it is, very important to talk about and kind of just look at the numbers, look at the patterns, and once again, thank you, and I'm super excited to get into it.
Okay, I feel like I didn't introduce you properly.
Yeah, introduce myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. So, my name is Antonio Romero. I am currently 22, and I'm a real estate professional,
Fairly young.
agent. Yeah, I mean, especially in this industry, if you kind of look up the definition of a real estate agent, if you were to see some pictures, you'd definitely maybe see some 40 or 50-year-olds. So,
right.
Cool to get into this space at a younger age. So, as you mentioned, I am with Team IRG or Ibarra Realty Group, as some people know it. We're licensed under the Keller Williams umbrella. So, yeah, it's kind of a quick little introduction to.
That's a good introduction. Okay, walk me through how did you become a real estate agent? So, what is that background?
Yeah,
come from?
absolutely. So, I got into real estate when I was 19. So the way it kind of happened is I was going to high school, obviously. My whole life, I've always had one goal, which was to go to college. I always wanted to do that from a very young age, especially coming from that Hispanic background. I feel like it's always drilled into us from a small age of you need to go to college. If you don't go to college, if you don't get extra education, then you're a failure in life. At least that's how it was for me. My parents would always tell me, in fact, I remember when I was in my teens, maybe 15, 16, getting closer to college actually becoming, a goal that I can pursue. I remember that my dad actually told me, he's like, hey, I just have one goal for you, one dream. My only dream that is left in this world is for you to go to college and graduate. That's all I want for you to do. So, again, it was so instilled into me, I have to go to college or else I'm going to be a failure. So, fast forward, graduated from high school. During that time that I was, graduating high school, I was really starting to, pick colleges, kind of see where I wanted to go, what kind of degree I wanted to major in. And I felt pretty lost, to be honest with you. Growing up, I played soccer, so I always felt like I could potentially play soccer in college, but during junior, senior year, it was I was getting a little bit more realistic with that goal and realizing that college or playing soccer in college was probably not a thing for me, and I was accepting that. So I felt lost, didn't really know what I wanted to do. So what I ended up doing is I went to a community college there by my school called DMAC, so Des Moines Area Community College. And during that time, I kind of just started meeting with advisors and kind of seeing what degrees were out there and what was available. And I always had the goal, the desire of owning my own business one day. It's just something that I always wanted to do. So since I always wanted to own my own business at some point, speaking with advisors, they recommended me to go into business administration. It's a pretty broad degree. During that time, again, I felt pretty lost, so I was just kind of trying to find anything. And I've always wanted to help people. I just didn't know how I could do that. So I decided, okay, I'll major in business administration, but I also kind of had the itch of becoming a lawyer. And what I wanted to do with that is I wanted to become an immigration lawyer. That's something that hits very, very home to me. Just the background I have, my family, seeing family members go through that immigration process and what it can do for them, the opportunities that this country has given them. So, during that time, I was like, I'll major in business administration. see how that goes, and then eventually go to law school to become an immigration lawyer. So, long story short, I ended up going to college. I'm not joking with you, Sebastian. Like, 2 weeks into college, I was like, what am I doing? Like, what did I just get myself into? Because I had this picture of what college is like. You know, you see it in the movies and the TV shows, and you think it's this, but it's what I found was it was something completely different. I was really looking for a change at that time, and I felt like I never got that change of going to college because I was still in my hometown. I was still living at home at 18 years old, right? So fast forward, I decided, maybe college isn't for me. I'm going to take a quick step back and kind of analyze from there and see what my next move will be. So I ended up finishing that first semester, and my goal was to kind of just take a little break during that winter break in second semester and then come back to college once I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. So that's exactly what I did. I finished out the semester. It was like Christmas break, and I remember one day I just pulled out my laptop and I just started Googling like everything, like high paying jobs with a college degree to high paying jobs without a college degree, just on Google, searching about all these different types of careers. And that's actually when becoming a real estate agent popped up. That was one of the careers on that list. So what I did from there is I continued to do more research, and I've always watched YouTube. I like to indulge in lots of different type of content. I'm always trying to learn, so I'm always watching, just content about business and stuff like that. So motivational content. So I ended up searching on YouTube, real estate agent, and this one video popped up where I don't remember the title, but essentially what the video was about is it was showcasing the difference of two people's lives. One person was a real estate agent, and then the other person was actually a pool boy cleaner. And they were both located in Los Angeles, California. And the video was just kind of following them in their day in life, kind of like a vlog. And while they were, during their day, it was showing them how much money they were making throughout the day. And that's kind of where it all almost started, is I was watching this video of this real estate agent and him interacting with clients and just the type of lifestyle that he had. And that's something that I could see myself having that lifestyle. So from there, I ended up continuing to do research, finding out how I could get my real estate license here in Iowa, and I ended up what I was trying to do is I was actually trying to move out to Los Angeles originally, because I was looking for that change, right? So from there, had some very, very tough conversations with my parents about not going to college, and if we want to dive deep into that, we can. But kind of just to wrap up your answer here, I ended up deciding to stay here in Des Moines, getting my real estate license, and got my license at the age of 19, and haven't looked back since, really.
So you're 22. It's been 4 years.
About, yeah. I mean, I got it towards the end of when I turned 19. So my birthday's in May, and I got my real estate license sometime around, December of when I was 19.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
3.5.
if you want to put it in a perspective,
Yeah.
you started to go into the real estate world as I was starting to go into my freshman year at college.
Yeah.
I think it will be a fair conclusion to say that it doesn't really matter whether you go to college or you don't, particularly in your first years in the workforce, right?
Yeah, I mean, a way I kind of look at it is everyone's completely different.
Yeah.
And you gotta focus on what do you want in your life? What kind of lifestyle do you want? Because, to be fair, I do have family members, I do have friends, people that I know, where they are more than happy being comfortable in a cubicle or working that 9-to-5 job. There is nothing wrong with that. And I have a lot of people who I know who have gone that route, and I tell them, hey, there is nothing wrong with the lifestyle choice that you're making. Like, if that's what makes you happy, having that 9-to-5, having that more stability, not having to worry like how am I gonna make my rent up because you're getting paid every 2 weeks. There is nothing wrong with that. But again, it goes back to who you are and what do you want in your life. Because for me, I didn't want that lifestyle. I knew I wanted to pursue that entrepreneurship type role, and I think you really have to answer those questions yourself. Like, what is it that I want, and kind of go from there.
I think most people in real estate could relate to that.
Yeah.
And how do you, okay, so we talk about like how do you got yourself into real estate. Has this journey been different with regards to the way that people see you as a minority?
I mean, where I grew up, there wasn't a lot of minorities. To put it into perspective for you, in my graduating class in high school, there was about 7 of us who were Latino, and maybe 3 or 4 who were Asian descent, and 3 to 4 who were African American. The majority was, white. So I always kind of grew up with that. I was always around being a minority. And since I was born here in the U.S., it's just almost normal for me. Now, I could see if you came from, you migrated from a different country, you could kind of see that difference. But for me, it's kind of what I grew up with, so I'm kind of used to it. So getting into the real estate world, that is, one of the very first things I did notice is there is not a lot of minorities. It's mostly white. So, I'm not gonna lie. It was at the back of my head, the back of my mind. I always kind of thought like, oh, I'm one of the very few doing this. But for me, that motivated me. That gave me power. I've always wanted to inspire and motivate others and show them that anything's possible. Anything you set your mind to, it is possible. Especially the younger generation, just because I connect with them so much easier. So I used it as a motivation tool. Like, hey, you're the only Latino doing this, or you're one of the very few doing this. So I didn't really let it hold me back.
Especially at 22, right? That's
Yeah.
a key factor. I don't meet that many people that are 22 or are in the real estate world.
Yeah,
so
and
to speak.
that's the other thing is like my whole real estate journey, my whole real estate career has always me like defying the odds, like me being the underdog. I've always had to, be better per se because I'm younger, because I'm a minority. Like I have everything against me, but I let that power me. I use that as motivation to show others like if I can do it, you can do it too. And I think that's a very powerful tool is for the younger generation, like they can see like someone else, their skin color, someone else their age, if they're able to do it, why aren't they, right?
So what does your day look like as a real estate agent now that you work?
Yeah, my day has definitely shaped. It's evolved over time, especially since I'm starting to put my hands into a lot of different pockets, a lot of different jars. When I started into real estate, I did start off as a solo agent, so I was completely on my own through networking and really just through networking. I actually ended up meeting my real estate mentor and now business partner. So I'm part of Team IRG Bar Realty Group. So we're a real estate team. We're actually a multicultural team. So there's about 25 of us who all work full time, and the majority of us are minorities. With that Hispanic background, we actually have people who work fully from Honduras, El Salvador, Venezuela. Sorry, not El Salvador, but Honduras and Venezuela. We do have some people who work virtually from like Las Vegas and stuff. So the team has really grown. And remind me, what was your question? How does my day look? Right?
Yeah. What does your day look like now as a real estate agent?
So now being part of the team, we really structure out our day to make sure that we are doing those money-making activities. Because when you're a real estate agent and you're a realtor, no one is telling you what to do.
That's good.
It's all up to you.
It's good, but it's
good and
bad.
right? Yeah, you have to have that self-discipline. Like, no one is telling you when to wake up. No one is telling you, like, hey, go show this house. Like, it's all up to you. So we've really structured our day into focusing on the things that are going to make us money. And what that kind of looks like is my Monday through Friday, my morning always looks exactly the same. So it starts off at 5:15 a.m. Wake up 5:15 a.m. The night before, actually, I could say it starts the night before almost. So the night before, I'll actually get my gym bag ready. I'll get, all my stuff for the office ready. Like my back, I carry a backpack with me, has my laptop and stuff like that. And then I'll get my clothes ready. Wake up 5:15, leave my house by 5:30, head to the gym with my real estate. I actually go to the gym with my real estate mentor and then a business partner as well. So us three, we hit the gym at 6 a.m. and then from there, finish my workout, shower, head into the office by 8 a.m. And at 8:30, I have my first meeting with my whole team. So meet on Zoom. Some of us meet in person, and then from 8:30 to 9 we have that meeting. Then from 9 a.m. to 9:15 we call it our sales agent huddle. So on our team, the way it's structured, we have real estate agents, but we also have what we call our operations team. So those are like our transaction coordinators, those are our runners, those are our data entry people, those are our marketing person. So that's where we meet together as a team from 8:30 to 9. Then from 9 to 9:15 we meet with all the agents, and we go over what appointments we want to set for the day, what our goals are, how many people we want to send to lenders, and then also we go over like tough conversations, script practicing, stuff like that, and really get us zoned in to start making calls. From 9:15 to 11, we lead gen. So what lead genning is essentially prospecting for new clients. We're calling people, cold calls. We have advertisements. So then, we have people reach out, call them, and then we do that until 11. And then 11 to 11:15, we regroup as all the agents. And we go over like, okay, did you hit your appointments? If you didn't, why not? Also, what conversations did you have? Do you need help with anything? And that usually takes 15 minutes and ends at like 11:15, 11:30 maybe. And then after that, my day is completely different every single day, which is something I honestly do really enjoy.
Okay, so that's pretty much a schedule.
From just the morning, from since I wake up until 11:30.
But I like that. It's a good discipline to have.
Yeah, and you need it. It's so easy to get lost into doing other stuff. I remember when I was a solo agent, like just learning the game, I didn't know what could make me money, because I was new. I was trying to learn. So really focusing on these money making activities has been super huge. So it is really important to have that structure and routine in your day.
Okay, and you talk about the Ibarra Realty Group being a minority, like, focused,
Multicultural, yeah.
multicultural broker. What does your average customer look like? Are they, well, look like, no, or like, are like?
Yeah, I mean, it does range. We work with everyone. We love to work with everyone, and we love to connect with people from all around the world. So it does range, but, I mean, just to give you numbers, I believe last year, I think it'd be safe to say that about 65% of our clientele is Latino background, Hispanic background, because we are a bilingual real estate team. And especially here in the Midwest, there is no teams like that. So, a lot of us do speak English and Spanish. So naturally, we do get that Latino and Hispanic background. But again, we like to work with everyone.
Are most of those Latinos first-time home buyer?
Yeah, I would say the majority is. And that's actually like a really crazy statistic to talk about.
What is it?
By 2040, 70% of all new homeowners will be Latino.
Wait. Say that again.
By 2040.
By 2040. Okay, that's how far? That's how far?
18 years.
18 years.
About by 2040, 70% of all new homeowners will be Latino
In the United States.
in the United States.
That is insane.
That's all new homeowners, like including all racial groups, including everyone. 70%.
The Latinos are multiplying.
They
They're not
definitely are.
summing up.
They definitely are, and that's another thing too. Which is crazy is like when you look at the Latino ethnic or racial demographic group, when you look at them, they're relatively young considering other ethnic and racial demographic groups. So what I mean by that is in 2021, the median average age of a new homeowner is 33. That's just in general, right? In 2021, the average age was 33.
Okay, we still got plenty of time.
Yeah, you got time. But this is the thing, though. Right now, the median average age for a Latino is 30. So that's why we're seeing such a big growth, is because Latinos are in their prime age home buying years.
Oh.
You know, and about, so like nearly 2/3 of Latinos, so that's about 64.3% of Latinos, or 40 or younger. They're about 40 or younger. So again, they're in their prime years of becoming homeowners.
That is crazy. Okay, I did hear that Junior, actually one
My
of your
real estate
business,
mentor, yeah.
your business partner as well.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he went to a conference and they were explaining that might be the reason why big corporations, big companies are changing the way that they're interacting with the United States. So that's why you see on the Disney movies, your
Encanto,
right, your
Coco,
exactly, your princesses are starting to change. They're no longer your beautiful blonde hair princess, but more like your middle class,
skin color a little different too.
little different, and it's targeting more the Latinos. So I think that they're up to something.
Well, if you look at the numbers, like they're all painting the same picture, and all these big companies obviously have, people on their team who are looking at these numbers. And you're exactly right. He did go to that event. I think that was actually down in San Diego, and they do that event every year. That was NAREP, which stands for National Association Realtors. National Association Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. So that's the other thing. NAR, National Association of Realtors. As a realtor, you're under this group, right? So to become a realtor, you have to be part of this group, which is called NAR. There is so many Latinos who are starting to get into the real estate industry that they went ahead and created this like subgroup per se called NAREP, which is focusing on Hispanic real estate professionals. So again, everything is slowly moving into that.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. You see it in our culture too, right? Like in our like look at the movies, look at the songs, look at everything, right? Like Bad Bunny, he just had his best year yet. He was Artist of the Year.
Right.
Like everything is slowly moving into that.
Okay. I think that makes it. I mean, if that doesn't surprise you, I don't know what will. It's crazy. That is crazy. 70%.
70% of all new homeowners by 2040.
Okay, so you talked to me that usually your Latino clients are first-time home buyers
Yeah,
because
yep.
I mean the language barrier, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
The knowledge barrier as well.
Yeah.
Walk me through an entire conversation where a first-time home buyer, like Latino, of course, but
Okay.
what does that look like? What are they most concerned about, and what is something that they don't pay attention to?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is like, just say how it is. A lot of these people, they had to grow up really fast. Most of them, don't have a lot of education behind them. Just kind of talking about my parents, like, my dad went to like 7th grade and dropped out after 7th grade. Not because of choice, because he had to work. Like his mom, so my dad's one of 8. He had 7 siblings.
Wow.
So think about that. Like and a single mother. He had a single mother.
There's no way she's paying for college.
Exactly. And he's one of the younger. He's like the 3rd youngest. So, his brothers, his sisters, they try to help out, but still, that's very tough as a single mother to have 8 children living at home.
Yeah.
So it's not like out of choice he decided not to go to school. He was just forced into that. So, he started working at a very young age. My mom, she was a little bit more blessed. She was able to graduate high school, and she ended up getting her cosmetology license. She's a hairstylist. So again, I feel like a lot of these people they don't have that basic education that most of us have been blessed to be able to get.
That we take for granted.
Yeah, we take it for granted for sure. So, biggest thing is like you can almost see the fear in these people's eyes because they don't know what they're getting themselves into. They want to do the American dream of purchasing a home, but they don't even know where to get started. So a lot of the upfront work is educating our clients on the home buying process, but also on the financing side. So we like to help give them referrals and connections to mortgage lenders and banks that will be able to educate them on the process. And all of this is done in their language. So explaining everything step by step, walking them through the home buying process so that way they get a clear understanding of, okay, after the home inspection step, we're going to do title work, we're going to do the appraisal. Like they know all those steps because we've told them that up front. So we really do like to take the time not only with them but all our clients and actually doing what we call a buyer consult, where we do very informal, like we sit down our office, maybe grab a coffee, and we walk them through the home buying process and really explain that to them and answer all their questions that they have and let them know, like, okay, these are the investments you're going to have during this home buying process, like the earnest money step, or you have to pay for your inspection if you want, things like that.
Okay, walk me through that specific interaction, if you could, in less than in a few minutes, right?
Okay.
So I walk in here. I'm a first-time home buyer that I will be soon.
There you go.
Hey, I want to buy a house.
Okay.
What are the steps?
Yeah, so I always like to kind of get a clearer understanding of what are your needs and how can I help you. So
Let's
one question I'll always ask is, okay, so what type of, like, are you going to need financing from the bank, or are you going to be buying on contract? You're going to buy with cash?
Most people are going to need
Financing with the bank. Okay, so you're financing with the bank. Awesome. Now, are you going to be applying with Social Security number, or are you going to be applying with ITIN number?
Okay, that's a big one. That's a big one
Yeah.
for all Latinos out there that they can't relate, but for all the...
You want me to explain it?
Yes, please explain
Yeah,
that.
so ITIN stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. So essentially what an ITIN is, it's issued by the IRS to assure that people are paying their taxes, including undocumented immigrants. So even if they don't have a Social Security number, and regardless of their immigration status, the ITIN number allows them to be able to file taxes the correct way, right? Because some of these people, are here undocumented. So that's just a way
And that's
for them
just...
to ensure that they're still paying taxes and they're still giving back to the economy.
And this is not such a conversation for any other ethnicity, I believe. Like, mostly Latinos are the ones that have to...
Most of the time, the majority...
I could see the black community getting affected by it somewhat, but I don't... I think this is mostly a Latino concern.
Yeah, if you're like migrating most of the time, yeah, but like, I love how you preface that this is such an important thing because it's so true. There is a lot of people out there that they don't know what an ITIN is. So think about it. Let's say you have someone walk in, they want to buy a house. Hey, I'm going to be applying with ITIN. If that real estate professional or a mortgage lender doesn't know what an ITIN is,
they're not going to
how
want
are
to
they
work
going
with
to
you.
help?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have that background. We know those little things, those little details, stuff like that. We're talking the same language. Not only like just because you speak Spanish,
not
but
literally, but
Yeah.
also understanding what they actually need.
yeah.
Okay, so how do I get an ITIN number? I just want to get a basic understanding for people that don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
and I just want to like make sure I say like I'm not an expert with ITIN numbers. I'm not, any of that. So just
This is not legal advice. It's just conversation in a podcast.
yeah. So based off my understanding, because I have a Social Security number, so based off my understanding, you just go straight to the IRS, and the IRS will, you'll just ask for an ITIN number. They'll help you with that. I don't know if you necessarily have to apply. I'm assuming you do. So you kind of just apply for that ITIN number to get that. It's that again. It's a taxpayer processing number essentially.
Right. Okay. So, and then let's say for a second that I have my ITIN number.
Your ITIN,
right.
okay.
Right. I do have an ITIN number.
So
like,
that's how it changes the conversation because.
okay. What if you don't?
Well, that's why I asked that question. Like, are you applying with ITIN or are you going to apply with Social Security? If you're applying with Social Security, we're going to go this route. If you're applying with ITIN, we're going to go this route. So that's where I was saying, like, if some mortgage lenders or some real estate professionals don't know the difference, if you have an ITIN, you can't apply like if you're applying with a Social Security number. So it's like, well, I'm not going to send you or try to connect you with these banks because they don't have that option for you. They don't have ITIN options. They only have Social Security number options.
So
again, I'm here to give you all the options and I'll help you. Like, you make the decision, but I'm here to give you all the options.
what if I don't have any? I'm completely undocumented.
Yeah, so that's where it's a little bit tougher because if you don't have a Social Security number, if you don't have an ITIN, that essentially means you're not filing taxes. When you're going to apply for a home loan, they are going to ask for 2 years worth of tax returns. So if you don't have 2 years of tax returns, you automatically can't qualify. So in that case, I would recommend for you to start filing taxes.
What if you're a student?
They're still going to ask for those 2 years of tax returns.
I'm putting you the spot here.
And I'm not a mortgage lender. So,
Right.
I don't want to say that you can or cannot qualify because I don't want to either, get in trouble since I'm not a mortgage lender.
But we will have some experts on the field and future conversations, and I'm sure I'll be able to ask them those questions.
like I don't want to necessarily say yes or no because I can put myself in lines that I don't want to cross.
Yeah, you walk people through the process. You
Yeah.
don't.
I connect you to the expert.
Right.
I'm your resource to connecting you to other resources.
Gotcha.
You need a contractor. You need a home inspector. That's really what something that your real estate professional should be there for you, is to really help connect you with the people that will be able to put you in the best position possible to meet that goal of
Some might
purchasing a
say
home.
your plug. Yeah.
You could say that.
Okay. Let's say I have an ITIN number, right?
Yeah.
And then I want to apply for finance. I need 2 years worth of
Tax returns.
tax returns. What's next?
Again, not a mortgage lender, so they'll ask for like bank statements, stuff like that. And what I do, to help my clients, what I always do is like I'll send them like, hey, this is some good documents that you should take to that meeting with when you're gonna go apply for a home loan.
Okay. Then you
but-
have that meeting with the
Yeah,
a
so
lender.
then from there, that client will actually meet with that mortgage lender, and that mortgage lender will help them with the applying process, and also walk them through that all that information. Like, okay, yes, you did qualify. This is how much you qualified for. This is what your payments look like. This is what your interest looks like. Down payment. Type of loan, how long the life of the loan is, really explain to you all those numbers. And that's another thing I tell all my clients is like, hey, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you feel comfortable with the financing, and not only the financing, like the whole process. Like, I want to make sure that you feel comfortable as we're going throughout this process. That's why I take so much time up front to educate them on that. Again, going back to that buyer consult, my team has created a full home buying packet that has the whole process, the whole timeline of how to buy a house, and then extra information like how to tell what type of market we're in, if it's a seller's market, if it's a buyer's market, how our team is going to be here to help and support you throughout this home buying journey.
Okay. I went with the lender, and I got approved for, let's say, it's a random number, 100K, right?
Okay.
I guess the next step is looking for properties.
Yeah, so kind of to recap it, home buyer consult with my team and I. Then go speak with the mortgage lender. Once you qualify, they'll issue you what's called a pre-approval letter, essentially saying like, hey, you went and applied and you qualified for this amount in this bank. And then from there, then I'll go ahead and reach back out. So, again, this is where it's important to have referral partners who will help you, stay on top of things too. So once you do qualify, they'll reach out, the mortgage lender will reach out to me, or I'll follow up because I have a system to follow up with the lender. and to make sure that they did qualify. And then I'll call the client and say, hey, so first off, congratulations on getting pre-approved, because that's the first step, right? There's some people who can't complete that step. So I want to make sure that the client knows I'm excited for them. I'm happy. Like, I'm ready to help you with this goal and dream. So, all right, next step from here, I've already been sending them a list of homes that are on the MLS, and I'll say, hey, you know, take a look at that list again, or if you already have, is there any houses that you like? If there isn't, let's go ahead. I'll reconnect with you here in a couple days, and we'll go ahead and set up a time to, you know, go and look at houses.
So, let's finish this in a way that it makes sense, right?
Okay.
And then let's summarize it with the same entire process, but like you do this, you do this, you do this,
Step
you
by
do
step,
this, you do
super
this,
quick.
you do this, super
Okay.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so now that I got approved and I'm ready to start looking for houses, what's the next step? I reach out to you, and what do you do?
No, yeah. So I'll reach out to you actually, and I'll say, hey, okay, take a look at the list that I've been sending you. Any houses you like? If there isn't any at the moment, I'll reconnect here in a couple days. That way we can set up some showings. Or if you see one in the meantime, text me the address, and then we'll, you know, figure out a time to go and view the properties.
Found the house.
Okay, so found the house. Now we'll review the seller disclosures, which essentially is like the history of the time that the seller has lived in the property. For example, let's say during a thunderstorm, a tree fell on the roof. Well, they need to note that down on the seller's disclosure. Things like that. I'll go ahead. We'll review that seller's disclosure. Once we kind of look at it, then from there, me and the client will, okay, let's see, what's our offer going to be? Price, what are the terms? Then I'll go ahead, submit the offer, start negotiating on the client's behalf. Once we get an accepted offer, call the client, hey, congrats, accepted offer. These are the next couple steps. And again, it's a lot of steps throughout the process, so I like to take it into little chunks and tell them, like, for right now, let's just focus on these 2 steps and nothing else, because it is a lot of information. So we'll tell them, all right, next 2 steps, make an earnest money deposit to put the house in that pending status. Next step from there, schedule the home inspection. Boom, you do those 2 steps. Then after that, you know, this is when the bank is going to be doing the appraisal.
The appraisal, okay.
Then also we'll hire some lawyers to make sure they check the title on the home. Want to make sure it's a clear title. There's not things on there that will affect that buyer when they take possession of the home. Other steps, termite inspection. And some of these steps are done here only in the state of Iowa, so keep that in mind. Like one of the steps is the abstract. So here in Iowa, we're one of the only states in the whole U.S. that still has what is called an abstract. Essentially, it's just like the history of all the owners that have lived in the house. So at that time, we'll update the abstract and add the buyer as a new new owner of the property. Then we'll do a termite inspection. Let's see here. Final walkthrough. You'll sign some documents with the lender. You'll sign the closing documents. You'll do the closing. Super exciting time. During the closing, you know, that's when you sign all the paperwork and you take possession of the home. And this is what I feel like differentiates us as a team, is even though you've already purchased the house with us, we've already gone to closing, we gave you the key, we're still in contact with you after closing. So some ways we do that is we do have what we call client care specialists who work full-time on our team, and they're just following up with our past clients about every 3 months, so quarterly throughout the year, just to make sure, like, hey, how's everything with the house? How's the move? How did the move go? Do you need any referrals
Special
for
assistance.
Contractors? Do you need a roofer? Like, what do you need? Do you need insurance agent? Like, what is it that you need? We'll stay in contact with you, and then we also like to, you know, say thank you to our clients in a way that we try to give back. Is we do what's called like a past client event. So we do 4 past client events every single year, and that's where we're only inviting our past clients who have either bought in, sold, invested, or built with our real estate team.
Gotcha. That was very informative. I think I have a pretty good understanding
I
now.
ran through it a little bit. Like, again, we'll go more into detail, but
Okay,
for sake
so
for the video.
So how would you describe it? Let's say, how do you buy a house in Iowa in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, like, first connect with your real estate professional, or connect with your realtor. Like, who's your local realtor that you know? Or Google it. You know, Google's. I like to use it when I like travel, like check reviews and stuff on restaurants and stuff like that. So I would just get connected with your local realtor, and they can really be able to help walk you through that process.
Okay. If you were to summarize it in 1 minute, how would you do it?
Summarize what?
Summarize how to buy a property. First time home buyer.
Yeah, so first connect with your real estate professional. Hopefully your real estate professional does know which banks offer which options and which programs, and they can really help guide you to the best options out there. Again, we're here to give you the options so you can make an informed decision. So hopefully they know, which banks are offering low down payment or no down payment at all, things like that. And then from there, once you connect with the mortgage lender, again, do the house shopping. So unless I'm working like directly with you, it's kind of hard to like tell you because everyone's situation is completely different. So depending on your situation, I know, hey, these are probably the best options. What do you think? Do you agree? Like,
But let's give it a very broad concept. We have a very, very broad client, right? He's the average client, right? He's everything that you see in every single client, right?
mm-hmm.
What's the home buy process?
Yeah, so first thing, find your local realtor. Find that person that you want them to help you with the home buying process. From there, you'll get connected with the bank, mortgage lender. Go ahead, you'll apply, depending on your situation, whether it's Social Security or ITIN or, right? Go ahead, apply. Once you get that pre-approval letter, think of that being like the key to start looking at homes. Start the home buying process of shopping for homes, the fun part. Once you find that house, earnest money deposit, you got to do that, and then you got to do your home inspection step. The bank will do behind the scenes, title, appraisal, stuff like that. Go to closing, boom, you're done.
I think that really summarizes how to buy a property. Like, now, if you want more details, of course you can watch the entire video, but I think you broke it down into pieces, and that's going to be very helpful. Hopefully, usually first-time home buyers are not going to be able to listen to this in English, although YouTube gives you the option to translate it, but I think it's going to be a harder one. Looking forward to do some content in Spanish to relate to that Latino community that I see is growing every single day, every time. More and more and more Latinos. Man, anything else that you would like to say to people that are listening to you, and if they want to reach out, how can they do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing is like don't let your age define you. I hope I can kind of be some sort of inspiration to show that like it really is possible. You just it all sounds super cliche. Of like they're telling you what to do. Like don't give up, keep going.
It
like
does.
all of it is cliche, but they're telling you straight up like this is what you have to do. That was the other thing is like with our age, like nowadays we want instant gratification. Look at TikTok, look at shorts, look at anything. All that content you're indulging, it's all like super fast paced, super like boom, 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 boom. Like 1 minute video that's too long nowadays. So that's something you have to, I feel like I had to learn as well is like be patient with it. It's going to take its time. And sometimes you're looking for that shortcut. You're looking for that secret sauce, that secret, whatever that key is. Like, how do I do this one thing and only do it for 10 seconds a day and make $1 million? Like, sad to say, that's not out there. And if it is, like, let me know because me and Sebastian will hop on that,
We'll
right?
jump on that right away.
Yeah, so just be patient with it. Again, just focus, concentrate on it. Like, don't give up. It's all possible. You just got to be willing to put in the hard work for it. And, if you want to reach out to me, I'm kind of on all the different platforms. So as far as, let's see here, Instagram is going to be ANT Romero 10. So that's Ant Romero 10 on Instagram. Then Facebook, it's just Antonio Romero. And then YouTube, you can go ahead and watch my real estate. I do content for my real estate team. So that's just going to be Team IRG on YouTube. Also on Facebook, make sure you give us a like on Facebook. Same thing, Team IRG. We're putting a lot of content I do a lot of video formatted content there on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you go check that out. Go to my TikTok. I also have a podcast that's going to be coming out here very, very soon. So please make sure you give that some love. I'd appreciate that. Podcast is called Failing Adds Up. So that's actually with a podcast with my real estate mentor and business partner, where we interview entrepreneurs, people who aren't really following that typical route that college forces them into, or society forces them into, better say. So you can watch that. Failing Adds Up. And thank you once again for having me, man.
That really, really, really touches a lot of people, especially that failing adds up. I recommend you watch that channel. They talk some pretty cool stuff, especially like entrepreneurship, mindset, and all that.
Yeah.
What it takes to stop
We actually
to
just
actually do what you want, right?
Yeah, we actually just recorded a podcast with she's locally here in Des Moines. She is a Latina voice artist, and she's worked for Telemundo. She just did something for ESPN. She's actually the person on your Spotify.
No way.
Yeah, Pandora, I think
Pandora?
it is. One of those two. And she's done, big commercials for, like I said, Univision, Telemundo, all those different types of networks. So.
And I'm sure she had her ups and downs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She has a cool story. So, when that podcast is gonna be releasing soon, make sure you keep an eye out for her episode. It's a touching episode. It's really cool.
Sounds good. Well, if you have made it this far into the YouTube channel, I seriously will consider that you subscribe. Although our content is not as educational as we would like it to be, we try really hard to bring things that bring value into your life if you're listening. So follow Invest Iowa if you would like any of the things that we're doing and the things that we're trying to share with you. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. You already know all of that. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. And if you have any questions for Antonio, just reach out to me. I'll reach out to him. And I'm sure we're going to have him again to answer some agent questions, some real estate market updates, and more and more and more of that. But thank you for watching. And until the next one.